Welcome back, Douglas Patron. Uh, Now we're going to be discussing customizing your resume for specific positions. Before you enter the content in, you want to make sure you're not entering anything that isn't appropriate for whatever it is you're applying for. So you're going to make sure that everything that you enter is relevant to the position that you are seeking. What job are you seeking? Customize your resume to the positions you're seeking. Focus on relevant skills and qualifications for the posted position. Look at every section of your resume. Is there any information on there that is irrelevant to the job? Get rid of it. Cut it now before you even type it in. What is your background? Spend a good deal of time thinking about your work history, your volunteer experience, your education experience, and your achievements. Take notes on your brainstorming. Is there any major experience that you have that would help you with this position being applied for that is not yet on your draft resume? Find a place for it. You don't need to let your good experience go unnoticed by your new employer. Now, there are some sections that you may or may not need depending on the type of resume and the type of job that you're applying for. The first section is skills. It's a fairly typical optional section, especially when employment history is brief or does not make this information obvious underneath your work history. Now, underneath your work history, of course, you'll probably include a lot of information about what you did at previous jobs, but if when you're looking at your work history you don't see certain skills, a skills section may be a very good idea at that point. An objective statement. It's typical in sales, management, administrative, or executive positions where creative thinking and innovation is the most critical piece of the job. It's not typical for service jobs or skilled labor positions. It's not always a good idea to include an objective statement, but if it is, make sure you focus on what the company or your potential employee will get from you rather than what you plan to get from them. Qualifications. This is typical for applicants who may be switching industries or making a career change. If your work history doesn't match the position that you're applying for, this is a good time to show why you're still qualified for that position. Awards. This is typical in academic positions, in education, or in marketing, public relations, or sales, in industries where awards for innovation or outstanding achievement is more typical. And what about interests? This is rarely ever used. It could be useful for a part-time first job in a non-service or non-skilled labor position, especially if you were still in high school or college. Uh, for example, if you were going to go work for a nonprofit and you're still in high school, this could show that you're not just looking to work for this nonprofit for no real reason. You have an interest in the work that you'd be doing there. But otherwise, this is sort of a useless section. And next we'll be talking a little bit more about entering your content.